Hi, Justin Thomas here with Turn Left Motorsports. This video is to help you get into a race car this year.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go.
Many people that are in stock car racing are there because their dad or a close family member or a close friend are racing and they have a direct line in. They have people to ask questions to. Some don't, and that's what this video is for. This video is to help you get into racing. Alright, this video is broken down into 4 steps, but before we get into those, we got the early steps / my notes. Networking, alright? Get into the pits, get to know people, offer to crew for people. Crewing, it's not going to be something you're getting paid for, alright? You probably are going to be paying your own pit pass for a while until you become useful. But get down there and try to meet people, offer to crew, learn what this day-to-day process is on race day, okay? This is very important. You'll see how a race day goes. You'll see and learn so much stuff that you have no idea what's going on from the grandstands. So network, get in the pits, get a full understanding of what's going on down there. Search and join Facebook Marketplace groups. Get on all the Facebook Marketplace groups in your area that you can. Start doing some general searches up there for classifieds. Michigan race car classifieds, Ohio race car classifieds, where the heck you are. Look for the regional ones, and then look for the generic ones that are circle track classifieds, dirt car classifieds. Get on them, all right? You'll start seeing how much stuff is going for it, and you'll start seeing stuff and recognizing what it is. And you gotta start learning what this stuff is if you're gonna be buying it. Also, beware of scams. Start recognizing the scams that are out there, all right? Hans devices, containment seats, all the high-end safety gear stuff is typically what scammers like to put up there, all right? It's pretty repetitive and obvious once you get to learn it what it is. Easy rule of thumb, don't buy something off Marketplace if you can't go there and buy it with cash. Pretty simple, can't get scammed that way. Another early step is iRacing. Is iRacing gonna turn you into William Byron? No, but it's gonna help you learn racecraft. It's gonna help you get comfortable being around other people, and it's fun. It can be fun. It can be frustrating. Consider racing something smaller at first. Dirt carts, highly encourage them. Dirt carts can teach you so much racecraft. It can teach you to feel what the cart's doing, pushing, loose, all that stuff, because that's really tough for anyone new to learn, and it's a lot cheaper to learn it in a go-kart than it is a race car. It doesn't even have to be go-karts. It can be anything. Racing is racing. Race experience is huge. Read the rules. Go on your local track, look at the rules and the divisions that you're interested in, and start reading through them. Get to understand what these rules mean. When there's a term you don't understand, highlight it. Go to Google, research the crap out of it. Understand what those rules mean. Knowledge is power here, all right? The more you understand about the rules, the more you're gonna be able to work within them. But seriously, learn the rules, understand them. That's gonna help you through tech. It's gonna make your life easier on race day. And it costs you nothing to do. My last early step is understand sponsorship is not given, it's earned. Don't rely on sponsorship. Be realistic with yourself, all right? Don't think you're gonna go and spend 15 grand on a race team and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring in 10 grand sponsorship this year. No, you're not. Unless you have a business of your own or your parents have a business or something along those lines. But chances are you're not gonna bring that much sponsorship early on, okay? So don't rely on it. Not saying don't push for it and strive to have sponsorship, just don't rely on it. Be realistic. Let's jump into step 1 here, all right? Identify the track or tracks that you want to race at. Now, the big factor for me is proximity, all right? I don't like to drive a lot, which is kind of ironic, right? So I race at Berlin because it's the closest pavement track to me. Wausau and Kalamazoo aren't too far away, so those are decent options for me as well. But I choose Berlin because I used to live 10 minutes from Berlin, and I raced a Sportsman there for many years, so I am familiar with the track. And I originally chose it, again, because of proximity. So that's why I raced there. The next one is dirt or pavement. Well, I could dive off for a half hour on why to choose one over the other. I mean, dirt is a riot. Pavement is cool. Like, they both have their positives, all right? Dirt is probably going to be a little cheaper, but racing is as cheap as you make it, if that makes sense. But I think I could race with a smaller budget on dirt, personally. That's the only factor I'm going to bring in right here, other than, again, proximity might be a factor on you choosing dirt or pavement. So these factors all work together. Classes offered. What classes does the local track you're considering offer? So once you kind of identify the track you want to race at, try to look at their classes and see if they make sense for you. Why I bring this up is Berlin has a Sportsman division. It's a great division. I used to race in it. And the problem with it, though, is if you own a Berlin Sportsman, you're only racing at Berlin. You can't take that car really anywhere else. But my super late model I race at Berlin, I can take to a traveling series. I can also throw different wheels on it and race it as a Sportsman in different tracks, even though it's nothing similar to a Berlin Sportsman. So my last little note here on identifying your track is, even if your heart is set on a track, consider at least one other, if you can, that is. It helps solidify your decision on what track you're going to race at. So just consider one other track, compare the two, and go from there. Now, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you only have one option, then you only have one option, and it is what it is. At least you get the race. Step 2, identify the car/class that you want to race in. Pick a division based on your budget. All right, if you're at a 4-cylinder budget and you choose a super late model, cool. You are gonna be out of money before you buy all your equipment. So think about your budget when you're picking your class, all right? No one wants to race once or twice a year. If you want to race a full season, keep that in mind. I'd rather race a full season in a Sportsman than a 2-race season in a late model. So think about that. Consider your long-term goals. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Now, I hate that question in interviews personally, but it's kind of important here, all right? If you want to be racing in 5 years and you're like, I'm going to make it to late models, might be a lofty goal, but it's a good goal. You do not want to start in 4 cylinders. 4 cylinders can be a very budget-friendly class. It's an easy beginner class for people to jump in. And I'll encourage people to get into the 4 cylinders, but if you think you're going to be in late models within 5 years, I would say skip it, because it's going to teach you driving habits that do not translate to a rear-wheel drive car. You'll learn things that are useful like racecraft and whatnot, but working on the car, like setting it up and how to race it, totally different in a 4-cylinder rear-wheel drive car. So keep that in mind. Another thing to think about is part overlap, setup overlap, all those little things. So like a limited late will overlap parts and setup really similar to a super late. Again, these are based on Berlin divisions. A Sportsman or a street stock or something along those lines will not overlap too well with setup and parts on a late model, but it will overlap well in general idea of setup and drivability. So consider those things. And if you know that you're not going to have a huge budget in 5 years and you're going to be a 4-cylinder lifer, freaking get in 4 cylinders and get out there and have fun. This is all about having fun. The ability to race your car at multiple tracks. This is not important to everybody, but it's important to some, so consider it. If you're buying a Berlin Sportsman, like I said before, you're racing at Berlin. If you're buying a late model, chances are you might be able to race it at multiple places. So look at those classes. Like I said earlier, read the rules. Start looking at the rules at various tracks around you and keep that in mind. Because it would really suck for you to buy a car for one specific class at one specific track and then realize, I want to race elsewhere. Size of the vehicle. This might not be a big factor, but something worth considering. We don't have Legends cars here in Michigan, but if we did, I would consider it because I like the idea of a small car, small trailer, smaller spot in the garage. So that's a factor. If you're working out of a tiny garage or if you have a small truck, that might be a factor for you. So worth considering. The operating cost. This goes back to pick a division based on your budget. Look at the operating cost of the division you're considering. The tires, the engine maintenance, the shocks, the parts, the body panels, all that stuff is a factor. So consider that before picking a car, because you do not want to get into the season and find out, oh, I can race 2 races and I'm done. That's not fun. You're not going to learn anything racing 2 races. And lastly, the ability to work on and maintain your car. Example, body work. If you're buying a car that has steel or aluminum bodies, can you build those body pieces? Or can you afford to pay for someone to do that? That's something worth considering. A template car. Most people can hang a template body panel pretty easily, unless you have to actually put templates on it. I think it's a little tougher. But engine maintenance, can you refresh your own engines? And you probably don't want to race something with sealed engines. Do you not care about that? Like, I race a car with a sealed engine. I don't refresh my engine, so that's no factor to me. We're working into step 3 now. We're going to make a clear list on what we need. We're going to look at the financials of it, and then you're going to start buying stuff if you're ready. In your list, make sure to include how much something costs new. Marketplace right now is full of people charging new prices for used stuff, so be aware how much stuff costs. That way you know if you see a good deal or not, and you can jump on it. All right, we're gonna jump. I made a little spreadsheet here. We're gonna jump into it. I am looking at a Berlin Sportsman because I believe that's a good beginner class, and that's where I started. So we're gonna look at a Berlin Sportsman. It's gonna be a high level view, so I'm gonna miss some details, but it's gonna give you a quick idea on how to build a list. Again, this list isn't for you to copy, it's to inspire you to build your own list. Being organized is big here. First on the list is the truck. I'm not going to go into detail here, but make sure you have a truck that can pull the car and trailer. Look at your towing ratings on your vehicle. Make sure you're good to go. I started with a 98 Nissan Frontier, a little 5-speed. Towing capacity was 5,000 pounds. All right, let's talk about the race car itself. Buy as close to turnkey as possible. Do not buy that $2,000 roller. Do not buy it. You think you're getting a great deal, but that $2,000 roller is going to end up costing you way more money, and you're going to spend so much more time on it. Buy as close to turnkey as possible. My biggest advice in this video is this. All right? Now, that $2,000 roller, guess what? Most everybody can afford that, right? We can all afford that car. And a lot of times when people buy that car, it sits in their garage and they never hit the track with it. Why? Because it nickels and dimes the living crap out of you. All the little individual parts you have to buy to build a race car from scratch, it's outrageous. All right? Buying a car turnkey, you're getting a hell of a deal. Now, does 10 to 15 grand sound like a hell of a deal? No. But that $2,000 roller is going to end up costing you way more. I guarantee it. And that's not even accounting for your time. If you're new into this, chances are you don't even know how to build a race car. So the learning curve is huge. Buy a turnkey car out that's sorted. It's already been shaken out. It's figured out. You're going to go to track day 1 and worry about learning how to race/drive. Not learning how to make a car go around the track, all right? You need to be able to have your stress levels minimized at the track early on. Now notice, I didn't put a price for a turnkey car new. It would be very expensive. But hey, if you can afford a new turnkey car, please reach out to me for some private consulting, okay? All right, let's jump into the trailer. I would almost suggest buying the trailer first, but when you're trying to get deals, the order of operations is fluid, all right? A new trailer, you can get an open car one for $3.5 grand. You can get a used one for $1,500 pretty easily. My first trailer, I think I paid $700 for. I still have it. The containment seat. There's a chance that if you bought a turnkey car, it came with a containment seat, but a lot of people like to keep their seat with them, so I put it on the list here. Now, I say containment seat. Buy a containment seat. Don't buy the cheap, flimsy 90s style seat. The containment seat isn't only way safer, it's way comfier, all right? And driver comfort is huge. And you could spend way more on one of these new, but $650, you can get a pretty good new one that will fit you just right. But keep an eye out for used. Don't buy a seat with a lot of holes drilled in it. A seat that's been mounted like 10 times and it looks like Swiss cheese, don't buy that seat. It's not safe. Helmet, buy a new helmet. Don't buy a used helmet. You don't know the history of that helmet, and one crash on a helmet, if it makes contact once, it's done. So buy a new helmet. Suit, you can buy used. Just look for tears, make sure the zippers work, and make sure the SFI rating is adequate for the series you're running, all right? Don't buy a cheap, crappy suit. Buy a decent one. You can get them used fairly decent. Shoes. Again, look at the SFI rating. Look at the age. They all usually have the age on them, so don't buy something incredibly old because they're really not that expensive new. Same with the gloves. If there's any tears and rips in any of this stuff, don't buy it. Buy new over buying something used with tears and rips. But if you can find good used stuff, yeah, it's a good way to save some money when you're starting out, because spending all this at once, it's a lot. Hans device. Zamp has a very affordable one out there. I've never used it, so I can't exactly speak for it, but they have to pass a rating, so they must be somewhat safe. You can get used ones out there too, to get an actual Hans brand, or I run a Simpson hybrid. So if you're buying used, again, look at the date. Many series will have certification dates on that stuff. They won't let you use an old one, but they can get recertified. So, but that's where buying new is nice. You don't have to worry about the age of something. Receiver, I would suggest buying new because electronics. But if you can find a used one that's in clean, obviously good shape. I just know I've bought used and it's been broken and it was a waste of money. So when you're starting out early, you don't want to be buying stuff and then having to buy it again. So at $90 new, it's not bad. I have a Harbor Freight jack on here. Just general specialty tools for racing. Chances are you probably own a jack already, but I just put some tools on here to kind of give you an idea that you're gonna have to be buying some stuff. So there's a jack, some toe plates, scales. Scales are expensive. And if you know someone that has scales and you can borrow them on occasion for your first year, that's huge. Because I know I didn't have scales my first year, and because buying everything at once is a lot. So I went a year without scales. If you can manage to go a year, that's great. But you do want to scale your car before you go to the tracks, because trying to scale your car in tech, it's gonna be a nightmare. A gas can, again, just more tools. 4 new wheels. You're gonna want spare wheels. Depends on what class you're running. There's a lot of situation there, but I just put 4 wheels, so 8 wheels total. This stuff is just kind of random stuff I threw on the list. A starter, miscellaneous fluids, oil, gear lube, water wetter, brake fluid, stuff like that. Miscellaneous hardware, a bag of hardware. Get some hardware that is commonly used on your car and have a bag full of it. You can go to Tractor Supply or Family Farm and Home and buy it by the weight. It's a great way to buy hardware. Transponder, $210 for a 1-year subscription. Ooh, that's so bad. At Berlin, you can also rent a transponder. So look at what track you're wanting to run and what the transponder situation is there. If you look into this ahead of time, you can get your best deal doing this. But for now, I just have the $210 subscription fee. And then Berlin, you have to have a NASCAR license. Many series or tracks are gonna, like Berlin, is gonna have a license fee. So look into that, account for that, because this stuff all adds up. So all this stuff I have highlighted in green is kind of the route I would go or have kind of gone in the past when I started racing. And you're looking at shy of 16 grand to go racing. It's a lot of money to spend in one winter to go racing, I know. But there are ways you can save some more money here. I kind of kept it middle of the road. And this is a Berlin Sportsman. Berlin Sportsman is still isn't the cheapest entry point, let's put it that way. There are cheaper ways to get into racing. This is just what I'm really familiar with. You can do a street stock quite a bit cheaper. The main bulk of the price here is the turnkey car, 12 grand, all right? I've seen turnkey street stocks for 5 grand. I don't know how good they are, but 5 grand. I've seen turnkey 4 cylinders for $1 grand. I mean, I don't know if I'd buy the grand one, but hey, a budget's a budget, right? And I don't know what class you're racing. If you're running dirt out there at Palo, they have a $1,500 claim rule. So $1,500, someone can buy your car, which means you're probably not racing a car worth more than $1,500. So there's all kinds of different levels of racing here. This is a guide to lay out your budget for what you want to race, all right? This isn't me saying it's costing you 15 grand to go racing. This is just a guide how to build your list in Excel, pencil and paper, or whatnot. Build this list. Have a good understanding what it's gonna cost you before you start buying stuff. Don't go buy that $2,000 roller and be like, I'm getting into racing. Build this list, think about it, and that list right there for the turnkey car might get longer if you don't buy a turnkey car. I know it's going to be tempted to buy that roller, and many of you are, but again, turnkey is cheaper in the end. I know if you can't afford the car turnkey, you're not getting on the racetrack anytime soon. Sorry, that's the truth of the matter. If you want to buy that $2,000 roller and have it sit in your garage for 3 years as you piece it together, I don't know. I'd rather just wait 2 years and buy a turnkey car than wait 4 years building a car. So we're almost there. We're to step 4, the last step in my video. Get your ducks in a row. Make sure you have everything you need. That list we just made, make sure everything's checked. Make sure you have everything you need. Complete the step more than a few days before the season starts, all right? Try to be prepared and don't do it all in your last week. Licensing, driver registration, etc. Minimize the stuff you need to do at the track on your first race day. It's already going to be overwhelming there. Minimize the stress and the distractions. You do not need to be showing up on the icebreaker the first day of the season and you're filling out paperwork for an hour. You need that hour to be able to get your car off the trailer, get it through tech, and not be stressed out. This is already going to be a tough experience your first time at the track. Let's try to do everything you can beforehand to make it easy. Identify the practice dates and attend. Do everything you can to make your first time on the track to not be a race day. But hey, sometimes it happens. My first time on the track at Berlin was the icebreaker. It went fine. Everything was good. Everything was smooth. But try to do everything you can to hit the track beforehand, especially if you're building the car like I told you not to. If you're building a car from a roller, you need to get on the track. Because if your parts are going to break, you want them to break in practice, not on race day. Understand the race procedure. Make sure your receiver is working. Your goal for the first few races is that no one notices you, all right? You don't want to be that guy that sticks out like a sore thumb. A small little piece of advice, you could buy a receiver early. Like, say if you want to race and you're going to be a year or two before you do it, buy a receiver now, go to the racetrack, put the buds in, and listen to race control while watching the races. It's not like you can hear anything else anyways. It's not very complicated. Receivers are very straightforward in what they're telling you, but hey, it's something you can do. Double check the rules. Make sure your stuff is legal and safe. Make your tech experience as smooth as possible. Reduce your stress. Your first day is going to be stressful. So do everything in your power beforehand to reduce it, all right? Nut and bolt your entire car and check your fluids before it even leaves the garage. Go through every nut and bolt you can reach with a wrench. Make sure they're tight. Look at your fluid levels. Make sure they're good. Look over everything you can. Last bit of advice here. Be prepared. Create routines. Do everything in your power to make your race day smooth and stress-free so you can focus on what matters when you're at the track. Having fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate your time. If you enjoyed it, there's a like button down there. If you aren't subscribed yet, there's a subscribe button down there, and don't be afraid to leave a comment. What did you enjoy from this video? What did you disagree with? Or do you have a question? Put a question down there and I'll do my best to answer it. And lastly, don't be afraid to like us on Facebook. Thank you so much and good luck this season. Keep her clean.